Use this?
Yeah, I'll use this.
So, that's it. We're discussing a statement where we said that Temurah, that there's Malchus for Temurah. It was a statement of Amirayim. It was Rabbi Baravin in the name of Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Yochanan, in the name of Rabbi Eily, that every leisa say in the Torah, every negative prohibition, if there's no action to do that. My example was, if you didn't do your homework, so there's no malchus for that, right? Even though there was a violation, and there's exceptions. The exceptions are nishba, someone that swears falsely. We had a discussion yesterday what falsely meant. Shav or bite, all of that. Meimar, someone does Temurah, and mekalas chaver b'shem. So today we have to do those two exceptions. Mekalas chaver b'shem, someone curses his friend and he uses Hashem's name when he does that. And also the other one, which is a machlekes, Rabbi Bar Chanina says, if someone takes truma before bikurim, there's an order of how you separate the what goes to the kohen. You do it out of order. Apparently, there's malchus for that as well, even though it's not necessarily an action, because you can just say that side is truma and there's no real action. It's just verbal. So we begin with Meimar. Umeimar. Someone that exchanges one animal for a carbon, or a carbon for an animal. Amalei Rabbi Yochanan Latana. Rabbi Yochanan told the Tana that was teaching this. Tana is someone in the Bais Medrash that knows all the Baises and Mishnayos by heart. Like every university needs a library. So years ago, every Bais Medrash had one Tana that memorized all the Baises. So, Meimar. Don't say that. Don't teach Meimar that's an exception. Why? Because that is a Maisa. 1 second. Why is Dibur a Maisa? The whole time we're saying that if there's no action, it's not a Maisa. So, oh, beautiful. Put this in the front for the color. So, Rabbi Yosef Engel has a whole discussion over here. What's all the possibilities of what's the pshat over here? Why all of a sudden we say speech is an action? We didn't do this by anything else. One possibility is when it comes to hektish, speech could be an action. Another possibility is that it used to be chulin, and now it's becoming a new thing because now it's hektish, it's becoming a carbon. Also could be when it changes a domain. It used to be under the possession of chulin. Changing domain could also be considered an action. Okay, so what we're saying is that Temurah is not is not an exception. It's actually an action. So that's not an exception. We're saying that there's malchus only for something where there's an action. Temurah also has an action. So there's malchus. Mekalas chaver b'shem, the next case. It's supposed to be another exception, that someone curses and he gets malchus, even though he didn't do an action. Minolan, how do we know this? So Amar Rabbi Lazar, Amar Rabbi Shir. Rabbi Lazar says in the name of Rabbi Shir. So Rabbi Lazar is known as a student and a friend of Rabbi Yochanan. That's Rabbi Lazar ben Fidah. Rabbi Shir is up here. Rabbi Shir. Much earlier. Well, a generation or two earlier would be on the top. So Amar Kra, it says in the pasuk. I'm assuming it's Rabbi and Rabbi Shia, the Rabbi Shia of the Baises. It says in the pasuk in Leis Yishmar, this is talking about the Teichacha that's said in the end of, it's about 10 lines up. It's the Teicha which is said in Parshas Kiseitze, right? Kisav. Where's the Teicha? Kisave? Kiseitze, Kisave. Where is it? Kisavaya, right? Kisavaya is the teicha. In Kisavaya over there it says that if you don't keep my mitzvahs and you don't fear Hashem your God, Yiras Hashem, to fear Hashem, so then the following pasuk says, "V'hifla Hashem es makoischa." The English translation says that Hashem will make plagues, remarkable plagues. V'hifla, it's remarkable. The Argamar says, "Hafla zu ein yedei ma'o." I don't know what the term hafla is. When it says that the judge will hit him, v'yikol lefanav, and it will hit him before him. Haviyemer hafla zu malchus. So what do we see here? We see that if you don't fear the name of God, that means you say God's name in vain. We're using it here, not just to say it, we're using it that you use it in a curse, to curse someone. So then, v'hifla Hashem es makoischa means that Hashem will cause you to get malchus. Eimar afilu shvus emes. 1 second. One says, what? You don't see anything from here that you're talking about cursing. Maybe it's talking about even if someone swears. And it's true. Maybe even it's true. So it says, no, 1 second. That, behed yiksiv, shvus Hashem tia ben shneim. If there's a shomer, let's say a shomer chinam, and he lost the item, right? So what does he do to get, to absolve himself from paying? It takes a shvua, possibly 3 shvuas, right? But he takes a shvua. So he takes an oath that exempts him from that. So we say, no, he gets malchus because he took an oath. So 1 second, it says that he's supposed to do that. So Eimar hanimil lefaya says chaveir aval milkalaki. Maybe he's supposed to do that because his friend wants him to pay, but that doesn't mean he doesn't get malchus. You get exempt from paying, but you get malchus on the side. Maybe for him it's worth it. This is leimat tisamrit. That you can't say. I'm teaching this the way most Rishonim are saying this. The Ramban has a different shot. The Ramban says that the Gemara never had a question that you should get malchus for a shvua that you took in Bezdin. What the Gemara's question here is that maybe you should get malchus if you take a shvua with not in Bezdin. That if you just offer it on your own. Offer it on your own. No, here we're talking about, there is a question because you're supposed to be taking the oath, you're getting exempt from paying, but maybe this malchus anyway. You can't say that. The pasuk says that you're supposed to swear. Gemara says no. Shmoita Shaveya tells me something else. Ahomi Bailele Rav. Dam Rav Gidl Amarav. Rav Gidl says in the name of Rav. Rav is that early Amira. Minayin shenishbayin l'kaimas a mitzvah. How do you know that you're allowed to take a shvua that you're going to fulfill a mitzvah? Now there's a problem. Taking a shvua. First of all, there's several issues here, but one of them is that you already took an oath by Har Sinai, so that you're going to keep the mitzvahs. Now you take another oath. I'm going to go and I'm going to do the mitzvahs. I'm going to put on film every day or something. So how do you know that you're allowed to do that? Shnema, I'm going to wake up early to the shiur. Shnema nishbati v'akayem alishmar mishptei tzidkecha. He quotes from David HaMelech. But from David HaMelech, it's not a good pasuk. It's not good enough for us, because we need a pasuk from the Torah. David HaMelech is Tilim. So, what are we doing? We're saying, B'shmoiti Shaveya teaches me that I'm allowed, it teaches me that I'm allowed to take an oath that I'm going to fulfill the mitzvahs. But I still don't have a pasuk that says that I take an oath and I don't get malchus if I do a shvua in Bezdin or out of Bezdin. It doesn't tell me that. The Gemara says no. It says twice. One of them tells me that I'm allowed to take an oath to do mitzvahs. The other one tells me that I'm obligated to swear in Bezdin, and I don't get malchus for that because the Torah tells me I'm supposed to. Ela l'mayasa. So if that's the case, the pasuk of Imlei Sishmar, if you do not keep the Torah and you don't fear Hashem's name, what is that teaching me? L'mekalas chaver b'shem, someone that curses his friend. So therefore we see that there's malchus even over there because it says v'hifla. This is all roundabout. We had a pasuk that says that if someone doesn't fear God's name, he's going to get malchus. V'hifla Hashem es makoischa. we said maybe it's talking about someone that takes a true oath, a shvua, a regular shvua in Bezdin and all. I said no, that can't be. Okay, now we're back to our original. What does that pasuk mean? Someone that curses his friend. Maybe it's someone that says Hashem's name in vain without a curse. So the Gemara says, so 1 second. What are you trying to say? Someone curses his friend, he doesn't get malchus. But someone's with Hashem's name. But if someone just says Hashem's name without the curse attached to it, then he's going to get malchus. So Migara is adding the curse onto it any worse. If you say Hashem's name, you get malchus. So throwing a curse into it is not going to take off the malchus. It says maybe. Yeah, watch this. It says Hanan hachika kashla, and this is our question. Maybe someone that says God's name in vain, malchus is enough. He gets atonement through the malchus. But if someone that curses his friend, kivan the kavod tarti, is doing two things wrong. First of all, he said Hashem's name in vain. The kamapik shem lemayim shemayim levatalu ukamatzar lelechavre. He does two things. He curses and he hurts his friend. Like tiskele b'malchus. Malchus isn't enough. Sorry?
It says Hashem's name in curse,
right?
And
he hurts the other person. So maybe he says Hashem's name in vain. Oh, and he curses. Now the curse and hurting the other person is what we're putting together. So it's two. So we're saying that maybe malchus shouldn't work here, because he deserves a much bigger punishment, right? So the Gemara says, you can't say that. It says that you're not allowed to curse a deaf person. Okay, now there's an extra. What is this page here? Oh, so what do we see from Leisa Kalacherish? That tells me that whether there's a curse with Hashem's name or whether there's a curse without Hashem's name, that there's malchus for that. So the pasuk of adding Hashem's name Leisa Kalacherish tells me that there's a prohibition. Leisa Kalacherish tells me that there's a prohibition of cursing. Now, once I know that there's a prohibition, so now I can add on to that the punishment, because there needs to be a prohibition before there's a punishment. Now it says if you say that we're talking about to curse his friend, that's the prohibition. Mehacha it says in the pasuk, don't curse a deaf person. If we say that we're talking about that you're not allowed to say Hashem's name in vain, and that's where the malchus comes in. So where in the Torah does it say not to say Hashem's name in vain? I only have in the Torah, do not curse a deaf person. 1 second. Why not? It says you should fear Hashem. It says don't swear in Hashem's name falsely, but just to mention Hashem. It says no, it says you should fear the name of Hashem. You should fear Hashem. It says, the Gemara says no. That's a do not. That's not a do not. That's not a negative prohibition. That's telling you what you should do. It never said over there, do not mention Hashem's name in vain. So if that's the case, so then I don't have a warning. The Gemara here calls it a warning. I don't have a prohibition before I have the punishment. Where do I have a prohibition before the punishment? That's by do not curse a deaf person. And because everyone is considered deaf if you curse them not in front of them. That's what the Gemara says. So the pasuk that says that you shall not curse, that that if someone mentions Hashem's name in vain and he gets makas, that's talking about, that's a continuation of you shall not curse a deaf person.
What's curse? Is it just like I curse you, or is it like how does it work?
My understanding was that a curse was when you say that something bad should happen to him. Right? With Hashem's name.
Or if a person says the phrase G-D-D-A-M-N.
Oh, is that really? That's pretty serious. People say that all the time.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to be so strict?
That's what I used. I never said that.
Okay. We're learning the power of speech. That someone says something, it's meaningful. So you have to make sure that we say positive things, blessings. Okay. There's another shot over here. Let's leave that. The Gemara now says there's a new section of the Gemara. We're continuing and explaining the statement of Rabbi Yochanan that said in the name of Rabbi Yossi Eily, that said that any loisa say in the Torah that there's no action for it, there's no malchus for it. And there was three exceptions. The exception was someone that swears falsely, someone that exchanges an animal, Temurah, and the last one was someone that curses his friend. Then the statement went on and said in the name of Rabbi Bar Chanina, also someone that's makdim truma to bikurim, someone that takes his truma, that separates his truma before he does the bikurim, which are the first fruits. The Gemara says like this: Mishum Rabbi Bar Chanina amro afa makdim truma lebikurim. In the name of Rabbi Bar Chanina was said also someone that takes his truma before bikurim. Truma is tremi meya, 2 out of 100, right? It's 2% that you give to the Kayan, and Bikurim are the first fruits from Eretz Yisrael that you bring to the Bais HaMikdash. My taima. What's the reason for Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina? My taima to Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina. What's the reason that you get malchus for that? Amar Kra, because it says in the pasuk, Mulayascha v'demacha leisacher. You're full something, and your mixtures you shall not delay. Malaya Eily bikurim. Malaya means the bikurim because the fruits are full, they're ripe. The demacha and your mixtures is Eily truma because truma makes a mixture, and that means if there's a mixture of truma and bikurim, so they become aser. And there's a discussion over here what the mixture that we're referring to is, because really it's batal b'rayv. But let's say that's the mixture. So I'm just translating the word dimacha. But dimacha, whatever the case is, however you want to translate it, it means truma. Va'amra leisa'ach, and it says you shall not delay it. It means you have to do it in the right order. Okay, we have a source for Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina, because we have a pasuk. How do we know that you get malchus for it? I'm not sure. But we know that there's a prohibition. Itmar. There's a statement of Amiraim, right? Amar. It's been stated. Hiktim truma lebikurim. If someone takes his truma before the bikurim, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina. It's a machlekes Rabbi Lazar and Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina. Chad amar loike, v'chad amar eina loike. One says that there's malchus, one says that there's no malchus. Tistayim, let it be settled. The Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina hu damar loike. Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina must be the one that says malchus because he's the one that says that this is an exception. Even though there's no action, there's still malchus. Midam Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina afamaktim shum lebikurim. Probably the word like is there. So actually, no, you have to take it out because he didn't actually say the word like it. He just said the words afamaktim shum lebikurim. Because he says that, so it must be that he's the one that holds you get malchus, and Rabbi Lazar is the one that holds you don't get malchus. Very easy. The Gemara says Hadarabba. On the contrary, this time the Rabbi Lazar damar like I'm going to show you that Rabbi Lazar is the one that says you get malchus. That's going to leave Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina saying that you don't get malchus, which is going to be a question because we assume that he was saying that Afamaktim Chumla Bikurim is an exception. It should be Malchus. What does Rabbi Lazar say? The Tanan, we have a Mishnah. Someone has two baskets. Tevel means that it wasn't untrue. Yeah, the truma wasn't taken. It's not fixed yet, right? You can't use that yet. Va'amar, and he says, "Meiser shel zu bezu." The meiser of this one, of this basket, is in this basket. Does he have an empty cup over here? Is that empty? It's good enough. Anything, just so I can. I have two things that are full of produce. So I say, the meiser from this is grain and this is grain. The meiser from this, 10% of this. There's 100 pieces in each one. Let's say. So 10 of. I need to separate 10 of this, but I'm not gonna. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, the 10 that I need to separate from here are in here.
Take 20.
Well, I didn't do that. I didn't do the second one yet. Right now, I'm just fixing this one over here. I fixed that. And how did I fix this? By saying that it's in there. So, what's the ches over here? Harishayna Mu'useres. The first one is, this one is tithe. Okay, because I separated the meiser. Let's say I say shalzu bazu v'shalzu bazu. The meiser of this one is in here, and the meiser of this one is in here.
What's the difference? You just take both.
I know. I don't know why he did that, but he did that. So the problem here is, this one, it gets tithed first. So the meiser of this one is in here. Okay, this one is already tithed. Now when I go on and I say, the meiser of this one is in here,
Oh, does it go back?
this was already exempt from meiser. Why? Because I already separated it in here. So I can't take min haptur ala chiyuv. I can't separate from something that's exempt from meiser on something that's chayiv in meiser. So because I did it one after the other, I have a problem. If I would have done it all in one shot, the meiser of each is in the other one, that would be acceptable.
What happened? Let's just say you could do that. The meiser that you put in there, let's just say it just sits there and then you put it back. Might not be the same. The
So
one
then I would have
so
mixed
it just
up.
be the same thing. No, because he takes from this and then he just puts it back. Because then that's 110.
Oh.
That's the exact same.
When he takes 100 and... Am I missing one over here? Is it supposed to be 111?
Well, the problem is, all of the examples so far on this stuff are to say that you need to do it in order, or the numbers are wrong.
Or the numbers are wrong.
See, and I read the word malaseka to mean take it when you have to take it when it's full.
Oh.
Okay. Otherwise, the numbers, the subsequent numbers, are all wrong. Although I didn't see a Rashi to that.
See Taisus Malayas Chazab Bikurim. It says Pirish Rashi Lahachi Kar Malaya Mishum de la Alter Shenis Gadsha Tva Venigra Malachta Hukvala Bikurim. Taisus only argues on the Truma aspect. I hear what you're saying. There is. I'm going to be one off over here because it's supposed to be 10 out of the 100. So really, it's supposed to be 11 if it's 110. Okay, but you're asking if I put it back in. So then I would need to take it out because the Maisa goes to the Levi. Has to go to the Levi. Here, what he's doing. Let's see. Let's go one step further. So it says Harishayna Museres. The first one is Meiser. Bashni Eina Museres, but the second one is not Meiser. Why? Because it was already exempt. You can't take. The first one was exempt. I can't take the Meiser out of that. Let's say I say Meiser Seya Meiser. Kalkala Bechaverta. The Meisers of both of them are in each other's basket. So Karas Hashem, that was good. The Itmar, and it was stated, Rabbi Lazar Melaika. Rabbi Lazar says he get Malchus. Neshik the Meiser Sheni Shabala Meiser Rishon Shebechaverta. This is doing such a good thing over here, and he did it wrong. He gets Malchus for this. Why? Because look at what he did. We were just talking about 10. Really, what he's doing is he's saying all the Meisers. There's two. There's Meiser Rishon and there's Meiser Sheni. So when he says the Meisers of this one are in here, what he's doing is he's actually taking 20. Let's ignore the 10, the 100 part. So he's taking, or 19, let's say, because he takes Meiser Rishon, it's 10 from the 100, and then he has to take another 9 from the 90 from Meiser Sheni. So he's separating 19. And then he goes on to this one, and he says the Meisers of this one are in here. So he took Meiser Rishon and Meiser Sheni from the first one, before he did Meiser Rishon on the second one. Really, what he's supposed to do is he's supposed to do all the Meiser Rishons, all his Meiser Rishon first. He was makdim Meiser Sheni to his other basket of Meiser that he needs to do Meiser Rishon on. So Rabbi Elazar says he gets malchus for that, because he did it out of order. This is a proof that Rabbi Elazar is the one that says that there's malchus for taking truma before bikurim, because if you get malchus for Meiser Sheni before Meiser Rishon, it would be the same thing.
How are they going to know that he did that? It's not like he's doing this in front of everyone. He's doing his backyard.
He knows for himself. People do it themselves. They come to Bais.
So, but if he knows that halacha, then
Should he be warned? Someone mentioned this yesterday. How does he get warned before malchus? Usually there needs to be a warning, right? How does he get warned? I'm not sure. I don't know. And it could be theoretical. It could be like your uncle saying that he knows it on his own, and there's a chi of malchus, even though maybe he's not actually going to get it. Tistayim. Let it be settled that Rabbi Elazar is the one that says that there's malchus for someone that does this out of order. Ela Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina Damarina like Elema Kasha the Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina the Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina. Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina is the one that says that there's no malchus. It's a kasha because Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina on the page before says that this is an exception. There is malchus, even though it's only words, right?
Yes.
The Gemara says like we read it wrong. Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina apitura koi. He's talking about the patur, because when you look at this. When you read this, it says like this: all loisasei of the Torah, if he does an action, he gets malchus. If he doesn't do an action, he's exempt, except for da 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 da. And then it says, Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina says, also someone that takes truma before bikurim. Also, someone that takes truma before bikurim is what? Is one of the exceptions, or it's one of the rule? We understood that it was one of the exceptions. So he said, Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina says that there's malchus, even though there's no action, but there's malchus. The Gemara is now saying we read it wrong. Af hamakdim truma bebikurim is a continuation of the rule that there's no malchus also for someone that takes truma before bikurim. Incredible, huh? Okay. V'hachi kamar, and this is what it means to say. Lav shein by ma'aseh and like in a love. If there's no malchus for a lav shein by ma'aseh, mishum Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina amro, in the name of Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina, they said, af hamakdim truma lebikurim. Also, someone that takes truma before bikurim, and there's no malchus. Okay. The Gemara now asks, Umayshna Meimar, the lucky. Why is there malchus for Temurah? Mishum b'dibura yasamaisa. So maktim truma lebikurim nami lelkim. Mishum b'dibura yasamaisa. Why is there no malchus for maktim truma lebikurim? When he says that this is truma, and he didn't take his bikurim yet, what he did was he designated truma. That's exactly like separating a korban. It's even though it's words, but it's an action. Okay, go ahead.
Truma master is coming from the same pot, right? Whereas with Temurah, it's coming from a totally independent animal. So, one's apples and oranges, and one's just apples. Maybe you have two.
I understand. The problem is, though.
Sit here.
Yeah, where's he going to
I'm
store?
having my second coffee.
Peanut
Where's he
gallery.
gonna
You
store
gotta
the
sit over
trophy?
here, man.
No, the comparison that we're doing is that if someone is changing the status of something, you're turning something that was mundane and you're turning it into a sacrifice, or if you're changing something that's mundane and you're turning it into truma, that's an action. So why there should be
Changing something else with Temurah. Why don't you tell me the word truma and Temurah are the same?
Don't sit on
Just
the couch.
changing the letters. It's the same word.
okay. Anyway, this is the Gemara's question. I just want to point out that the assumption here is that all of this is done b'dibur, because all of this is done with speech. I mentioned once before that Truma and Bikurim, this could be an answer actually. Gillian on the side in the Shita Mekabetzis and Aleph. He mentions this point. He says maybe Truma, you can separate the machshava with thought. No one says thought is action. You can't separate a carbon. You can't do Temurah with machshava.
There's a lot of arguments if thoughts count as if you did it.
Okay, give me an example.
In Abomatia it says that there's an argument if thinking to swear, thinking to pay, and then say I'm not going to pay, do you have to actually pay in the end? Or if he's going to pay and then he dies and then
You remember that? Whose questions was that? Was Reb Zera? Whose questions? Reb Zera's questions.
But then I know if there's more.
So,
What about Pigel, where a person has a different thing in mind?
very
Isn't that
good.
also a thought
That's an
that's attached?
example. It's a machlekes Rashi and the Rambam,